Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. What up, cornbread?
What up, Beans? Good morning.
I hope everybody's off to a wonderful Sunday morning. Cheers, everybody. Good morning, Crystal. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning.
Good morning, Ma. I hope you're off to a great morning.
Good morning, Mama Roo. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning.
Good morning, Kay. I hope you're off to a great morning.
Good morning, Deb. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful morning.
Good morning, Gary. I hope you're off to a great Sunday morning.
Good morning, Brother Boxman. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Sunday morning.
Good morning, Brittany. I hope you're off to a great morning.
Good morning, Mom. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Sunday morning. I hope everybody's off to a dope start to their day. Let's play a song. Cheers, everybody. Let's fucking go. Good morning, CJ. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Ash. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. What does everybody got going on for their Sunday today? I got to work. Should be a dope day, though. It's going to be hot. It's going to be really hot today. Got this day in history coming up here after 4:20. We'll have our morning speaker just chilling Sunday morning this morning. Your Manigans at 11:13. Don't miss out. It's going to be a dope time. Surkoff Sunday sit down this afternoon. Always a dope time in the castle and the Europe away tonight. Only on the Europe Entertainment page. Don't miss out. It's going to be a dope day. Other than that, it's been a pretty good weekend, I guess. I don't know. It's been hot, but chilling. Watched some bears yesterday, eat some fishies. That was dope.
Yes.
Got some dodgeball sign-ups done. That was cool. Yeah, I don't know. Cornbread, what do you know?
I know nothing today.
Hey, no news is good news, yo. Morgan, stop eating stuff off the floor. It's crazy humid already today. It's going to be in the 90s today. It's going to be ridiculous.
Shit.
No.
That's supposed to be 85 today.
That's going to get hot in here, I bet. But that's all right. The AC does all right. Morgan knows where to lay.
Right?
She'll go lay right in front of the AC and stay cool. It'll be fucking 80, 90 degrees in here, and she'll be just fine. She's crazy playful this morning, though.
I was going to say she is super playful this morning.
Went out and I was running around outside a little bit this morning, and come here. What doing?
Oh. Hey, Morgan. Turn your bone.
Something to do. Yeah, Kay, I got you on the Crusaders. Ma, CJ, got you on the Hash Hitters. Deb got you on the Hash Hitters. Ash, of course, still captaining the Hash Hitters. The Hash Hitters is the same team it was last season. The championship winning team. So, 1 minute out. Oh, I didn't even know the song again. I was like, wait, I don't know. Yeah, y'all got crazy heat going on over there, and damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We got you and Copsy. Okay. Happy 420, everybody.
The morning light, it finds my face. A quiet moment, a sacred space. I roll it slow, let the smoke arise. A prayer sent out to open skies. Inhale the calm, exhale the pain. Each breath a balm like a gentle rain. It's more than a ritual, it's how I feel whole. This isn't for escape, it's for my soul. I smoke for my soul to find my peace. shared connection, uniting us all. From the Cove's embrace to this morning's glow, together we rise, together we grow. The herbs a blessing, the coffee's divine, a communion of hearts, a sacred time. Inhale the truth, let the spirit flow, for in this moment we truly know. I smoke for my soul to find my peace, a moment of grace when worry cease. Each breath I take brings a healing light. I smoke for my soul, it feels so right. Sacred herb, this ancient gift, brings my heart a needed lift. In the smoke, my prayers ascend, a healing power that will never end. I smoke for my soul to find my peace, a moment of grace where the worry cease. Each breath I take brings a healing light. I smoke for my soul, it feels so right.
Good morning, Man Bear. Good morning, Mindy.
Fine.
I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday morning. I would have put the Bears game on again, but it's a black and white right now because it's nighttime there or something like that. Man Bear, you missed the Bears yesterday, man. Bear. It was cool. I felt bad for the fish, man. Every time I'm like, oh, it's a circle of life. So I just had to keep telling myself. And the bears eat the fishies. I'm done. Yeah, I could get high and sit and watch those bears fucking for hours.
Right.
Like, I will get lost in watching the bear. I'll be like, oh my goodness gracious, I wasted 2.5 hours of not doing anything.
It was interesting to watch them.
Yeah, me and my dad used to sit and watch them for hours when I lived over, and they would be up staying with us.
I think it's pretty dope. But yes, poor fish.
Yeah, it's still black and white up there. Boo! I want to watch the Bears.
I want to see the Bears.
It's just crazy all the live cams have been popping up for me lately. Because, I mean, YouTube algorithms it. So, like, as... Oh, shit, here's some Bears.
Oh, shit. We get to see bears.
Oh, this is not live, though. This is just a highlight thing.
Oh, okay.
So we'll watch it for a second, and then we'll go back. But
look at those bears. Holy.
those look like black bears.
Yep. For sure.
The other ones look like grizzlies. Bears. Yeah, the bears yesterday was cool.
It was.
Man, yesterday's this day in history. That was crazy. I did message Vicki, and I said, Vicki, I was like, if you didn't know, you make such an impact every single day. And here's a story of testament of exactly how. And I kind of told her, explained to her yesterday. And man, that shit was powerful. I wasn't expecting that. And just an odd sequence of happenings coming together all at once for that. It's fucking crazy. That shit really got me yesterday in the best of ways. I wasn't expecting that, and it was incredible. I had to let her know. I had, just with everything going on, I would never played that song. I would have never picked and played that song. And hey, it was fucking dope. It's crazy. Speaking of Vicki Bowers, we do have some This Day in History coming up. We'll play a song and dive on in.
Let's go.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you, Weather Channel, for collaborating all sorts of dope ass jazz music and putting it on a playlist.
What breed are those puppies? Mindy, my dog is a Pipple Lab mix, and my mom's is a Great Dane Boxer mix.
All right, everybody. This day in history, July 27th. It's fucking crazy. It's almost August. It's not fair. Here we go.
Welcome back and happy Sunday. Today's rerun is from the episode for 2023. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for July 27th. July 27th is the 208th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 209th in leap years, with 157 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is mimesis. Mimesis, simply put, is a noun that means imitation or mimicry, such as a representation or imitation of the real world in art and literature. Interestingly, mimesis can also refer to the deliberate imitation of the behavior of one group of people by another group, and in this respect can be a factor in social change. In zoology, mimesis is another term for mimicry, as in the way, say, a butterfly or a moth might sport coloring or decoration that camouflages them against a tree or that frightens a predator away by looking like the predator's predator. The word mimesis comes ultimately from Greek. First known use of the word mimesis is around 1586. Mimesis. The word mimesis was suggested by one of my viewers, and if you have a word you'd like to suggest for Word of the Day, pop it in the comments and we'll take a look at it. And with that, the Navigation Acts, or Acts of Trade and Navigation, were a long series of English laws that sought to regulate shipping, trade, and commerce between other countries and with its own colonies. On July 27, 1663, the English Parliament passed a second of those acts, and this one required that all goods going to the American colonies must be sent in English ships from English ports. They were looking to rein in the market. Couldn't be letting those colonists get whatever they wanted from wherever they wanted. Aside from sheer control, losing control of the supply chain would mean missing out on sales and taxes. Some years later, Scotland would be included in the act. On July 27, 1866, the first successful transatlantic telegraph cable was put into service. This stretched from Valencia Island, Ireland, to Heart's Content, Newfoundland. Interesting names. Telegraphy is obsolete now, but at the time it was a really big deal to be able to relay communications that quickly. Before telegraphy, it could take months to relay communications by letter. Of course, the ocean, with all that salt water and currents, was really hard on those cables, and they were always having to try to repair or replace them. But this was the day of the first successful telegraph cable put into service. It was on July 27, 1921, that researchers at the University of Toronto proved that the hormone insulin regulates sugar. This is the birthday of a fellow named Gary Gygax, born July 27, 1938. He was an American game designer and co-created a game called Dungeons & Dragons. This is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game that has developed a huge following. Mr. Gygax passed away in 2008 at the age of 69, Gary Gygax. This is the birthday of Roberta Lee Streeter, born July 27, 1942. We know her better, though, as Bobbie Gentry. She was one of the first female artists to compose and produce her own material and charted 11 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Best known for her song Ode to Billie Joe, which I heard in my mind just as soon as I saw her name. Ms. Gentry is currently retired from the music biz. And in honor of Bobbie Gentry's birthday, let's talk about Ode to Billie Joe. Released in July of 1967, it hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on August 26th of that year, beginning the first of 4 weeks in that number 1 position. Later chosen as the title track of her debut album, the song is a story as told from the point of view of a girl who was connected to Billie Joe and portrays most effectively her family's indifference to what happened to Billie Joe. In the intervening 55 years, fans and listeners have wondered what Billie Joe and the narrator were throwing off that bridge. Ode to Billie Joe by Bobby Gentry. Link in the description. Today's quote is by co-creator of Dungeons & Dragons, Gary Gygax, who said, "Games give you a chance to excel, and if you're playing in good company, you don't even mind if you lose because you had the enjoyment of the company during the course of the game." Gary Gygax. All righty, y'all, take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. No Really. No Really. Consider following my Day in History page on Facebook if you're on Facebook. I also have a Patreon account now, or you can buy me a coffee. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
Much love, Vicki B. Thank you so much for the This Day in History every single day. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Please make sure you're following Vicki on all of the platforms, especially her Facebook. And, yeah. Dope This Day in History today. Bobby Gentry, I feel like Jenny from Forrest Gump had to have been, like, modeled after her. I guess, I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, song of the day. Let's go, Bobby Gentry. Cheers, everybody.
It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton and my brother was baling hay. And at dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered at the back door, "Y'all remember to wipe your feet." And then she said, "I got some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today Billie Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge." And Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas, "Well, Billie Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40 I got to plow." And Mama said it was a shame about Billie Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billie Joe McAllister's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Brother said he recollected when he and Tom and Billie Joe put a frog down my back at the Carroll County Picture Show. And wasn't I talking to him after church last Sunday night? I'll have another piece of apple pie. You know it don't seem right. I saw him at the sawmill yesterday on Choctaw Ridge. And now you tell me Billy Joe's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Mama said to me, child, what's happened to your appetite? Well, I've been cooking all morning and you haven't touched a single bite. That nice young preacher, Brother Taylor, dropped by today. Said he'd be pleased to have dinner on Sunday. Oh, by the way, he said he saw a girl that looked a lot like you up on Choctaw Ridge. And she and Billy Joe was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge. A year has come and gone since we heard the news about Billy Joe. Brother married Becky Thompson, they bought a store in Tupelo. There was a virus going round, Papa caught it and he died last spring. And now Mama doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. And me, I spend a lot of time picking flowers up on Choctaw Ridge and drop them into the muddy water off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
Such a great song.
I've never heard it, but that was good.
Yeah, it's an amazing song. Oh,
So
man. Go ahead, sorry.
Is this the cam that you were talking about?
With the boats on the boats?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ferry. I mean, it's way early. I honestly don't even think anybody's there yet. It's 5. So, as always, I cheat the camera if I can. So, it's still only 5:15 in the morning there. So, we're like, 2.5 hours ahead of it or behind or whatever, however. I kind of caught that. I caught your comment, Brittany, and then I heard that part of the song and I laughed too. So don't feel bad. Yeah, I don't know. This was a good one. Yesterday morning at this time frame on the camera, there was a massive spider in the middle of the camera. So like literally seconds after the fucking spider walked off the camera is when I paused it to start the camera. Because like we couldn't get, I mean the sunrise was fine yesterday, but it wasn't like this because I couldn't go this early because there was a giant fucking spider on the camera. And no, I can't do that. I'm sorry, I can't do that. That's fucking
No.
good on that. And then we were watching the bears, and then these dudes fly fishing, and they're like, dude, they were less than 100 yards from that. They was less than a football field away from that bear. Easy.
Yeah.
They were like, if that bear wanted to fuck them up, it's been over. But they was just chilling. I don't know. Everybody got along. It was a fine birthday party.
Yeah. I thought that was crazy though. I don't know. I'd be nervous as shit.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And the little bears running around chasing the birds. That was dope. That's crazy that one bear was smart enough to set the fish up on the rock ledge.
Yeah.
They're such smart little fuckers.
Well, they are.
I don't remember if it was Boxman or Cohen or somebody was joking about the bears evolving or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, bro, like the bears are fucking, they're gonna be evolving. It's gonna be Planet of the Bears.
Yep.
Not Planet of the Apes. All right, I'll play another song.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Cheers, everybody. That's a great song.
It is.
All right, let's see. Oop, wrong one. Let's go with this one. Pick a number 1 through 236, Cornbread.
45.
45. Hmm. All right, number 45. That's dope.
Let's fucking go.
Good morning, Jimmy. How are you, man? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Scott. How are you, brother? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. I don't know the artist, but I know the song was When We Were Young, but I don't know who the fuck. It doesn't tell me who sang it. I couldn't have told you. Man, it's gonna be hot today out, folks. It's gonna be a warm one. Unless you're like watching from Saskatchewan. I don't know. This crazy ass documentary came out. It's like releasing in episodes, like a Netflix special, about my hometown school basketball team. That shit was crazy to watch. Like, even just seeing the camera through those halls again is crazy. And this is a school of like fucking 300 people. The town itself has like 500 people. But it's just a crazy story of a no name nothing town that goes and kicks all these basketball teams' asses and wins state.
That's dope. That's like,
and it's so weird to watch like the clips and the flashbacks and everything like that, because like not necessarily like the games, but like I was there for all of that. Like it was weird. Like, the star basketball player on the team was in my grade. Yeah, it was just it was cool as a motherfucker. And then they did a special, like an interview segment with Mr. Qualley, the basketball coach and the history teacher, who I've talked about before. But like, even in the fucking documentary, he's like, a lot of kids in my class would joke and say that we watched a movie every other day. It was every third day. And he's like, Saving Private Ryan, best movie ever. Dude, we watched so many like historical documentary type movies, but also like silly shit. We watched Andy Griffith's Show. We watched All in the Family. Like he would just come and sit in a desk in the class, like with us while he was talking and like lecturing and teaching us. Like, he was dope. Yeah, I'll share with the subscribers. It's like a 45-minute. It's legit. Like the production value on that shit is Netflix level. I was blown away by it. Those guys are so good, and it's produced by guys I went to school with.
oh yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
All right, I'll play another song and see where we're at with our morning. We'll do a throwback Sunday song. I haven't played this one in a while. Cheers, everybody.
Golden sun, rise up slow. Coffee steam in the glow. Cannabis in the haze. Start our tropic days. Morning dew on the leaves. Coconut breeze in the trees. Roasting beans, smooth and dark, lighting up a morning spark. Coffee cup to lips so high. Cannabis under azure sky. Warmth in every single ray. Tropic love in morning play. Birds sing a tender tune in the light of early June. Cannabis leaves sway in my coffee aroma running wild. Percussion rhythm so sweet. Sand warm beneath our feet. Cannabis whispers in the air. Coffee heartbeat softly share. Coffee cup to lips so high. Cannabis under azure sky. Warmth in every single ray. Tropic loving morning play. Percussion rhythm so sweet, sand warm beneath our feet, cannabis whispers in the air, coffee heartbeat softly share, coffee cup to lips so high, cannabis under azure sky, warmth in every single ray, tropic loving morning play.
Dang, that's crazy, Brittany. Right, Ma? Love it.
It is crazy. Oof.
All right, I did grab the trailer for that quick, so I want to show that quick. It's like 40 seconds long.
Right. Do it.
Could this be a fairy tale finish? Over 1,000 Ellsworth fans here.
We thought this game was over, but this is a new Ellsworth team.
1999, Ellsworth was nobody.
So you're off to a great start. So you guys thinking maybe state championship?
We don't care about the stats. We play as a team, we want to win.
If there was ever a team hungry to get back here, it's Ellsworth.
He made the shot. It's history.
Ellsworth has won the state title. There's the entire city of Ellsworth and then some.
That shit is like next level. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so good. It was fucking crazy nostalgic watching it.
Absolutely. That is.
That's cool.
That's pretty dope. Look at that sunrise.
I know, it's ridiculous. I love this camera. This is probably one of my new favorites. I love the Duluth cameras. They just keep fucking with them, and we can't get a good angle. And
Right.
you know, I don't want to look at a construction site every morning. I don't mind it, but we'll switch it up.
Right. Okay, there ain't nothing wrong with switching it up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I'm loving all the new cameras that have been popping up, like the Cincinnati one. I saved that one. I still have like the Brooklyn Bridge one. That one's a good one. I can't remember the fucking name of it now, but yeah, I don't know. I like the live cams. It's dope, and they seem not to get us in trouble.
Yeah. I like it. It's nice. Looks really peaceful.
It's great. It's already 71 there. Feels like 76.
Wow.
Ellison Bay. We got any Michiganders who know where that is? Mangaroo, Mindy? I don't mind. I don't know. I wouldn't mind Michigan. It's cool there. It's like Minnesota, but not Minnesota. Fudge. I don't know. Play another song and dive into our morning speaker.
Wait.
Cheers, everybody.
Sunrise through the palm trees, cup of coffee in my hand. Warm breeze whispers gently in the simple morning land. Smooth coffee scent rising,
dark roast in my cup. Take a sip, refreshing, just can't get enough. Coffee and cannabis in the Sunday air. Feeling so righteous, not a single care. Cannabis in the garden, leaves so green and bright. Smooth waves in the distance, life feels so right. Coffee grounds on the table, sugar and some cream. Rolling up the green leaves in this peaceful dream. Coffee and cannabis in the Sunday air. Feeling so righteous, not a single care. Cannabis in the garden, leaves so green and bright. Smooth waves in the distance, life feels so right. Coffee grounds on the table, sugar and some cream. Rolling up the green leaves in this peaceful dream.
Whoop whoop. Yeah. Let's go. Hope everybody is having a great Sunday morning. I am. It's just a relaxing Sunday. Yeah, okay, it's muggy. It rained a little bit. 74 hour right now. Oh man.
Damn, okay. It's gonna be a hot one here. It's 70 already, 92% humidity. Yeah, we can we'll play Inhale Exhale and then we'll dive into our morning speaker. Cheers, everybody.
On a Sunday morning, with skies so clear, the cove awakens, peace draws near. The herbs inhale, the day begins. Inhale the good, exhale your sins. The sunlight kisses every leaf. A gentle toke brings calm relief. Through every puff, the soul set free. Ganja embrace in harmony. Inhale, exhale, amen, here we stand. With every puff we understand. The cove is calling, let peace begin. Inhale, exhale, amen, and breathe it in. Inhale, exhale, let joy unfold. Stories shared, connections bold. Lift each other, find strength again. Inhale, exhale, amen. The morning glow, soft waves roll by. In every breath we reach the sky. Sunday's a blessing, a gift to embrace. We slow things down, move at love's pace. Goals are passed with care, with trust. In the cove we do what we must. The herb unites as laughter flows. Through sacred clouds the spirit grows. Inhale, exhale, amen, here we stand. With every puff we understand. The cove is calling, let peace begin. Inhale, exhale, amen, and breathe it in. Inhale, exhale, let joy unfold. Stories shared, connections bold. Lift each other, find strength again. Inhale, exhale, amen. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, amen. Here we stand. sweet hope, new stories told. The herb brings peace to hearts in need. A soulful moment, love's gentle creed. In the cove with ganja in hand, together we rise, together we stand. No rush, no fear, just space to be. Inhale, exhale, serenity. Inhale, exhale, amen, here we stand. With every puff we understand. The cove is calling, let peace begin. Inhale, exhale, amen, and breathe it. Inhale, exhale, let joy unfold. Stories shared, connections bold. Lift each other, find strength again. Inhale, exhale, amen. Inhale, exhale, amen. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, amen. Here we stand.
Good morning, Roy. How are you, man? I hope you're having a wonderful morning. All right. This morning we're doing Alan Watts. It kind of goes with I don't know. He's very chillin'. I like the way that he presents things and his tone. It's very fitting for a Sunday morning. And he's super smart. I love his shit. It's so great. This morning's will be on ego. Here we go.
I suppose the most fascinating question in the whole world is, who am I? Or what am I? Because, as I've suggested in several of the previous talks, the seer, the knower, the one whom you are is the most inaccessible of all experiences, completely mysterious and hidden.
It's super quiet. Yeah. Dang. All right. No worries. I'll find another Alan Watts, but I guess as loud as I can get it. So I'll just play another quick song, and I'll just grab a different Alan Watts. No big deal. Let's go with this one. Cheers.
Glow so gentle, bright. Coffee cup, my heart's delight. Cannabis mist in the air. Friends we share this morning fair. Tropical breeze whispers low. We sip slow, feel the flow. Hands we hold, a peaceful beat. Life is sweet where hearts do meet. Sunday morning, pure and free. Church bell rings in harmony. Coffee warm and glowing sun. Cannabis dreams, we've just begun. Gospel tunes we softly hum. Joyful hearts and beating drums, tropical skies wide and grand. Together we all understand. Peaceful shorebirds take to flight. Nature paints a pure delight. Friends and laughter fill the space. In this soft and sacred place, cannabis calm and subtle grace, coffee warmth in our embrace, pantycle dreams and morning light, Sunday sunrise pure and bright. Gospel tunes we softly hum, George bell rings in harmony, coffee warm and glowing sun, cannabis dreams we've just begun.
All right, I got a good one. Here we go. This one is about fulfillment.
You always get what you want, invariably. Even though you may think that it's entirely opposed to your wishes. But if it's your karma, everything that happens to you, putting in another way, everything that comes to you is a return to you of what goes out of you. Yes, obviously, that's absurd. If you confine the definition of yourself to your voluntary, conscious behavior. That's a ridiculous definition of oneself. Oneself, by any stretch of the imagination, must involve far more than the conscious and voluntary aspects of our behavior. And if we see that it involves intimately and inescapably the behavior of what we call the other, the not self, the environment, and see that these two are moving together like the two sides of the snake when it swims, then you get a very curious feeling. You have to be careful of it if you've got a Western background. Because this is what happens to a lot of people who play around with psychedelic chemicals. There are many, many cases of inflation among these people. That is to say, when you get this sensation that the two sides of the world, the inside and the outside, are moving together, you may think, I am ruling it. I am God in the Western sense of the word. Therefore, your ego, instead of being, as it were, integrated and transcended with all this process, merely assumes vast dimensions, has megalomania, is blown up by the mystical experience. And so you get the holier-than-thou people going around who seem to think that they're above all human conventions and have no obligations to anyone or anything because they're divine and they can do as they damn please. What they haven't realized is that doing as you will isn't a new kind of behavior that you suddenly put on and say, from now on, I'm going to go around doing as I will. You have to realize first that that's what you've always been doing. And you could look at this from a very simple point of view. It's not a complete point of view. But you can say, well, now what about the people who did good and who did the things that they didn't want to do? You know, everybody's mother said to us, darling, sometimes we have to do things we don't like. Well, what about that? Well, you can always say, the kid obeyed the mother and did the thing that it didn't like because that was the better part of wisdom. In other words, if it hadn't done that, something worse would have happened. And we choose the lesser of two evils. And when you find yourself in a situation where you have to choose the lesser of two evils, then you say, I want out of here. And you take the easiest way. You take the line of least resistance. So that's your doing. Now, you can pursue that more profoundly when you stop thinking about human behavior as something that responds to the compulsion of an environment. And you can get out of that when you see the behavior of the environment as an essential aspect of you. So it isn't, as it were, the environment starting something, which you are therefore compelled to follow. It's the whole system moving together. So then, you get in the state of liberated or mystical consciousness, you very often feel that a hill is lifting you up as you walk up it. The ground seems to heave beneath your feet, and up you go. And you get this strange feeling of lightness, of effortlessness. Walking on air, never a care, you know. This wonderful sense that there are no obstructions anywhere. There's nothing, as it were, banging you and making you do that. It all flows together. And that's a very common sense. You are actually, in that state of consciousness, you are perceiving the goings-on, the Tao, the course of nature, in the way it's happening. But in the ordinary way, you've been conditioned to resist it, to fight it, and to use those sensations of resistance to create a sensory basis for what you describe as the ego. The ego, in practice, is a sense of strain. When you are aware of I, you are aware of a basic discomfort, which is located basically between the eyes, somewhere in here, a sort of tightness. Also, it's in other centers too. It's in the solar plexus, and there are various physical centers, in other words, where this constant tension or resistance against it is going on. And that's what you feel when you talk about I. When that tension ceases, you discover immediately that the separate ego has disappeared, and that what I refers to is simply the total panorama of experience, everything that's happening. Obviously, I don't know all of it, because I can't inspect all of it with my radar, with my conscious attention. That would be a ridiculous undertaking, to know everything in that sense. We know it in a much better way, as we know how to grow hair and open and close our hands. So, this point of view can be understood if we clarify the initial problems we have about it. And I suppose the first problem is, if we accept the notion that everything that happens to us is our own karma, our own doing, then we have to be very careful of, shall we say, the devil of omnipotence, of inflation, of feeling that your ego is what is in control of all this. And the second thing is, if you think then that everything that happens to everybody is what they really want to happen, then you can absolve yourself from any qualms about being unkind to someone, because you could say, well, the unkindness I did you was what you really wanted, wasn't it? You know that business about the responsibility of the person who gets murdered for getting murdered? There is a curious sense in which a lot of people go around looking for trouble.
Good morning, Yaya. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. We're just hanging out, getting high, drinking coffee. Listening to our morning speaker is Alan Watts this morning. This is a really good one. I find him super interesting.
Freud pointed out quite correctly the psychology of accident-prone individuals. They seem to be attracting trouble like lights attract moths. And we're all doing that but we manage to remain unconscious of it, so that we can praise and blame and play the game which says, that's not my fault, that's your fault. And so we go around apportioning faults to everybody. Because if we're going to apportion praise for what the good things people do, you can't make praise mean anything unless you also go around blaming. Praise and blame go together. Supposing everybody was acting in a praiseworthy way, and we praised everybody for everything, they'd get tired of it. They wouldn't even notice it anymore. So long as you're going to get a kick out of being praised, you've got to go around blaming too. It's very simple. But if you see the folly of that praising and blaming are just creating each other, then you don't praise and you don't blame. You just dig the whole thing. And that's why when we encounter very great sages, you never hear them blame people, and they very rarely praise anyone. You try to start gossip in the presence of such a person, and you make a derogatory comment about someone. It's as if you had thrown a rock into a well and heard no splash. And a funny feeling, because that you get no response. You get no agreement. And if you praise somebody, there's also likely nothing to be said, except perhaps some remark that, of course, you're praising the beloved in all its manifestations. And this disconcerts some people terribly. I've always noticed that real sages never gossip, never criticize persons. And because they understand so well. The French saying, tout comprendre, c'est tout pardonner, to understand all is to forgive all, is so true if you are experienced in just the ordinary way of dealing with human problems. You've been a counselor or psychotherapist or minister or anything like that. You very soon get to realize how vastly complicated people are, and to see that they really are in the messes they're in, not because of anything, but that's the way it is. And you stop blaming people, and because you don't blame people, you have open ears, and people come and seek your advice. They don't want to come to someone who's a counselor who will bawl them out. It's like dentists who simply accept the fact that people really don't take care of their teeth and realize that the job of a dentist is precisely to look after people who can't be bothered to take care of their teeth. That's why he's in business. So a good dentist doesn't bawl his patients out because they didn't do this, that, and the other. Just accept it. Same with doctors. They know perfectly well that nobody's going to live by the rules of health. And they're very vague as to what they are. And, you know, there's every kind of theory about how you ought to live and what is healthy, but they change in fashion. And you ought to eat this kind of diet in 1921. By the time it's 1930, they've changed their ideas altogether. And by the time it's 1960, it's back again to a mixture between 1921 and 1894. Something like that. You see, it's always changing. So while the rules are not so... See, if they were all absurd, it would be easy. They're not all absurd. There's some truth in it always. But nobody's ever quite sure. So the function of healers and doctors and so on is just to do what can be done to stop the mess getting too messy. And they must accept it as that. That's their job. If I were healthy, I'd say to the doctor, I wouldn't need you. So you're in business. Now, what about it then? We have difficulty in seeing this mutuality of our relationship to the rest of the world because it's contrary to common sense, contrary to the way we've been brought up. And therefore we have what I would call an initial intellectual block to understanding it, quite apart from any emotional blocks or anything of that kind. But obviously, we must overcome that intellectual block if we're going to go any further and actually realize and feel this way of life's working and this relationship between what you do and what happens to you. Then the question arises, then what do I do? Do I go around saying to myself, all this that's happening to you is what I wanted? I am inside and outside. I am the subjective and I am the objective. I don't mean to go around thinking thoughts about this, so as it were to talk yourself into this way of feeling. Well, that's very superficial, because this new sense of relationship to nature is something much more than an idea. See, ecologists and physicists have the idea that this is so, but they mostly in their private life and in their ordinary human behavior are just like other people who don't feel it and who feel themselves in a Newtonian billiards game, even though they've gone on to quantum mechanics. So that there may be a transition from our ordinary way of feeling how things go on to the new way, we have to do something other than think. Because actually thinking is causing the trouble. It is by thinking that we divide the world into separate events and separate things. That is calculus. And Ananda Kumaraswamy once described the life of the liberated being as a perpetual, uncalculated life in the present. And you say, wow, I don't think I could do that. That saying of Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, be not anxious for the morrow, the uncalculated life. If God so clothe the grass of the field, will he not much more clothe you, faithless ones? And I've never met a preacher yet who would really take that up. They all say, well, of course, that's too hard a saying for most of us. It's not practical. Everybody has to take thought for the morrow and calculate. Well, at this point, people can go in two directions. There's one class of people who will say, all right, let's live the uncalculated life. Let's not make any plans. And before you know where they are, they're living in a filthy pad and scrounging around and living on petty thievery and so on. This is the usual thing. This is got into it the wrong way. The first thing to do is, just as I said, whether you like it or not, and whether you know it or not, the relationship between you and the environment is always one that is harmonious. So in the same way, you are always living the uncalculated life. You have to find out, first of all, that you're always doing it. And that what you call your calculations, and the things you did, were funny little rationalizations. In other words, your ego has about as much control over what goes on as a child sitting next to its father in a car with a plastic steering wheel that is turning the car the way Daddy drives it. Because, as I pointed out, most of the functions, most of the goings-on in you, around you, the circumstances of life, have nothing to do with your ego at all. And you don't even know why you make up your mind to do certain things. Superficially, we have few ideas. It's like when you enter into a marriage, you have really no control over its outcome in the ordinary sense of ego control. You've taken a colossal gamble in which you've involved enormous complexes of patterns. And maybe it'll come out all right if you don't interfere with it too much. You don't. It's like Oppenheimer said, it's perfectly obvious that the whole world is going to hell. And the only possible way we might stop that happening is not to try to prevent it. And, you know, all these wars are started out by people who think that they're helping someone, that it's going to make things better. So when you begin from the basis, not of saying, I should now live the spontaneous and improvident and non-calculating style of life, but realize you've always done that, only you rationalized that you didn't. You always did what you wanted to do, basically. Only you said sometimes it was my duty. But you preferred a conception of yourself as someone who always does his duty. That flattered you. And so you were still following your own way. Now the first thing then is to see that. That's what's happening. So that you don't think, well, now there is some special thing I have to do to understand this harmonious relationship between the individual and the world. Because if you work on it that way, you will start from the presupposition that that relationship doesn't already exist and has to be brought into being. The thing is, it doesn't have to be brought into being. It's there. But now when you see that that's so, it obviously starts to make a difference. You do behave in a different way. But the behavior, the new kind of behavior that is a result of a transformation, is not forced behavior. When you try to imitate the way a saint behaves, you have made a forced change, and you know all forced behavior is phony. It's like someone saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, when you don't. You feel you ought to, but you don't really. And there's something, it doesn't ring true. Let's think of the poor Lord, listening to all the prayers of all those people saying, I love you, Jesus. And he knows they don't. No, they're just saying this because they think they ought to. And be very trying. So whenever you do a thing like that, you see, you make a forced change. Now, if the change is to happen in the same way that a seed at proper season breaks open and sends up a shoot, see, it comes from the whole force of life itself. Now, when you see that without your having to do anything, see, you are living the uncalculated life, and you're only pretending you're calculating it and arranging it, then, as it were, you will have a grasp of the total situation. And you can allow it to produce changes in action, which are not forced. So this is why there is always a trend in every kind of spiritual doctrine which says something about grace, divine grace. There must come about something in you, a change, which you can't produce. And if you try to produce it, you will be a victim of spiritual pride. But on the other hand, all teachers are universally saying, you've got to make an effort. There's some discipline. There is something you must do. Well, that's the only way to get it across to people. That you, as a separate effort maker, are a myth, are a phantasm. Because if you really try to control your mind and only think the thoughts that you think are good thoughts to think, you will find that you're going round in a circle. Krishnamurti is awfully good at pointing this out. When people ask him, how do you meditate? He says, why do you want to meditate? Why are you concentrating? Why are you saying prayers? Why do you think you should believe in God? And it always comes up because I'm just a son of a bitch. I mean, I'm out for my own good, and this seems to be the way. So he says, you see, you don't have any genuine love at all. It's all fake. And so you have to find, first of all, where the genuine love is. Now, you love you, don't you? That's genuine. We won't argue about that. But then when you start from this, I gave a talk some time ago to the Air Force, their camp, lab where they make weapons, do all the research. And they got a bunch of us there who were ministers and philosophers, and they had the nerve to ask us what was our basis for moral behavior, personal moral behavior. Well, I said, my basis for moral behavior is pure selfishness. And I'm talking, after all, to realistic people here, and I don't think we need to be sentimental and beat about the bush. After all, you're all warriors and fighters and so on, and you know how rough things are. So I'm going to say to you, frankly, I'm out for me. But of course, I don't do it in a tactless way. I don't go around and hit people over the head and say, give me this, give me that. I'm much more subtle. I say good manners and please and how nice you all are and so on. And finally, people feel massaged psychologically into a state where they'll give. But then I said after that, there's some things that bother me. The first one is, if I love me, what do I want? And furthermore, who am I? Because if I'm going to be realistic about getting what I want, I've got to be pretty sure what it is that's me and what is the state of desire in me. If I am desire, see, if I am a center of desire, what's it all for? Well, I think of all the things I want. Well, it so turns out that none of them are me. When I say I want dinner, it doesn't mean I'm going to eat me up. If any pleasure I can think of is the enjoyment of something that I hadn't thought of defining as myself. Because I like my sensations. I like what happens to my body when I take a fine wine and down it. But then what's the difference between my body and the wine? I say I like the wine. I also mean I like me and the wine together. Mixture. But then I don't eat you or a friend or a lover in the same way as I drink wine. I live in association and like this. But then I'm loving things that aren't formally supposed to be me. And as I go into it, in other words, as I investigate what I mean by me, I find that I can't put any limits on it. That I cannot experience me without you. Or without the other. And they're inseparable. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. Until you really go into the question, what do I want? And that's the most important investigation anyone can make, which I'm going into in the next session. The question of power. And all these military men, you think they think they want power. And so I said to them some very subversive and undermining things without anybody knowing it until long after I'd left.
That was fucking great. That was a really good one. That was super interesting. I really enjoyed the Alan Watts. All right, we'll play a song and see where we're at with our morning. Probably call it here shortly. Cheers, everybody. All right, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday morning. Go ahead and say our farewells and smoke one more with you guys. Cornbread?
Much love, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for the morning show. It's always a great way to get your day started. Let's go. It's Sunday, fun day. Make sure you're following everybody you're interacting with. Make sure you're following everybody on the co-production team because you don't want to miss out. Don't want to miss out what's going on each and every day. If you would like your pet featured on Cornbread's Critters, please reach out. We'll get you all the information that we both need. And I hope you all have an amazing Sunday. And I will see y'all when I see y'all. Much love.
Much love, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's been a dope Sunday morning. Make sure you guys catch the Ranigans coming up here in about an hour and a half. And don't miss the afternoon show or the Your Boy today. Hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll be at work, so I'll pop in when I can here and there. Much love, everybody. Make sure you're following everybody on the Cove team. Thank you to everybody that helps support the Cove. And if I don't see you guys later today or this evening or whenever, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Cove-TV morning show, 8 a.m. Eastern time every single morning. It's Sunday. Much love, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Much love, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Much love, everybody.